Okay, this is for Chris and Kristen. I was videoing without pushing the button, but I'm here with Dean Welsh, who has his music shop, and he does everything for all the schools. So he's gonna be able to tell us about this thing as he kind of plays with it right now. It's all yours, there, Dean.
All righty. Well, what we had back in the 1970s, probably late 60s and into the 70s, we had what was called the lawsuit models. Lawsuit models were Japanese knockoffs of Fender American guitars, Gibson American guitars, and the reason they were called lawsuit models is because both of those large companies filed lawsuits against all these companies that made them.
Because they look like them? I mean, is that...
Yeah, they copied them.
Gotcha.
Down to where, if it wasn't for the name on the headstock, you'd say, oh, this is the Telecaster.
Yes.
Now, this one's a little thinner body than most Telecasters, but it's the same setup, 2 single coil pickups, volume tone, 3-way switch. A Telecaster, there's a perfect example. That's a Mexican model from Fender, and you can see that it is a Telecaster copy.
Yep.
Probably as close as you're going to get, down to the style of the headstock and everything there. And but yeah, they were called the lawsuit models. Some of them were kind of a little more prized than others. Most of them are great playing instruments, so they're something that's well worth fixing up, cleaning up, and that. And they're just cool vintage instruments. It's the ones where the guys couldn't afford the Fender or the Gibson.
Yeah.
So they went to the next thing. Yeah, they went to this, or they went to the Tyscos. The Tyscos were the 60s and early 70s also.
So do you think that's the 60? Is that would be 60s?
I'm guessing this is probably because of the way of the plate back here and some of the different, just the different stylings on it. I'm saying this is probably early 70s.
Early 70s.
Yeah, probably somewhere around 73.
Dean, you got a volume control. We got a knob missing off the one. What would that be? The treble and bass?
This is volume. This is tone.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be more bassy this way.
Yeah.
And what that does is it just cuts the frequency out. Cuts
right.
a little high end frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 position. That pickup, both pickups, and this pickup.
Nice.
Now this is what they used to call the ashtray cover.
Ah.
They used to. Let's see if it comes off. It hasn't been off for a long time.
Yeah, I would venture that hasn't been played for a long time.
Yeah.
So they pop that thing off in the bars and use it for cigarette ashtray.
Well, it was such a big bulky thing that it's like, it's just a big ashtray cover. They take that off and a lot of them, like you can see what the bridge looks like without it on there.
Ah, yeah.
And that, but in fact, I've got one that I'm in the process of designing that is going to use the ashtray cover on there.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of cool that this is here. But yeah.
Cool.
It's a great guitar. They probably sold brand new for anywhere from $300 to about $400, $450 at the maximum.
Gotcha.
At the time, the Fenders. I have basically a lawsuit model bass that I paid $400 for, and at the same time, a Fender was $800.
Yeah.
So for half the money for the same instrument, technically.
Cool.
But yeah, it's got a great neck to it. It's got a great feel to it. Some of them were real big and bulky.
Yeah.
And this one's got a real nice feel to it.
Nice.
A lot of vintage mojo in this one.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Cool. Oh, by the way, Dean is also a fellow bass player there, Kristen. All right.
4 fingers, 4 strings.
There you go. And no fingernails. All right.
That's it.
Thank you.